Hello beautiful people, welcome back. I'm Anna, and if you're reading the title of this video, you know today we're gonna talk about confidence. I figured if I was able to overcome most of my insecurities and most of my trouble dealing with how I looked, how I behaved, how I thought, I figured I could help someone else try to do the same thing. These are the 5 rules I implemented for myself to help me kind of travel through life without constantly doubting myself. I absolutely think there's some value in these ones, so I figure why not share them. I always was a people pleaser. I wanted everybody to like me. I wanted everybody to agree with my opinions. The truth is, it's not always like that. There's always going to be someone out there who doesn't like the way you look, doesn't like the way you dress, doesn't like how you talk, how you behave. Someone's always going to have a problem with you. You have to know that the opinion that matters in the end is not the strangers, it's your own. You're obviously going to have people who do like you. You're going to have friends, you're going to have significant others, it's going to have family. But there's always going to be people who don't like you, and that's just something you have to accept. You could change everything about yourself and someone still wouldn't like you. Obviously know that confidence is not something we grow overnight. I know I didn't grow it overnight. In high school I was extremely shy, extremely insecure. Today I am a completely different person. I'm very outgoing, I talk to everybody. I sit in front of a camera for the world to judge me and make their opinions about me. It's okay to have days in which you're feeling insecure, days in which you're not feeling like your body looks its best, days in which you're not feeling the smartest. It's okay to sort of understand that those days are always going to happen. You are allowed to have bad days, but you gotta pick yourself back up. It took me years to be where I am right now, mentally, physically, emotionally, and I know it's hard, and I know not everybody goes through that process the same way, and not everybody takes the same time going through the process. So I definitely recommend you don't punish yourself when you're having bad days. Repeat to yourself the message you want your subconscious to understand. This sounds crazy, but it does work. I did it for myself. When I was in high school, I came to America for the first time when I was about to start high school, and I did not look like the people I was going to high school with. I did not talk like the people I went to high school with. I had a thick accent, I looked different, and I faced a lot of non-welcoming reactions. I faced a lot of non-welcoming people. I faced a lot of discriminating people against my accent, against the way I looked. I dealt with a lot of comments, a lot of things, but very, very hurtful things that were said to me, and I became very shy. I had never been shy. My family would never tell you I was shy. It wasn't until my senior year of high school that I kind of took back control of my life and how I perceived myself, and I wasn't afraid anymore to say something because my accent was gonna sound too thick, because people wouldn't understand me, and it became kind of my thing. Like every time I was doubting myself, I repeat to myself, you're beautiful, you're smart, you've got this. Don't let these people get to you. It's okay. It's okay. And it worked. By the time I was 17, 18, I feel like I was already in a pretty good place with how I felt about my body, how I felt about my voice, how I felt about my accent. When I was younger, I even wanted to take accent reduction classes, and this is something I never really told my family, and I never really told many people, but I felt like my accent made me different. My accent somehow made me less accepted, because it did. Right now where I'm at with my accent is it's part of me, it makes me different, and I like that about myself, and I like that I have that something about me that's somehow different from the rest, because it's what makes me me. I don't want to change my accent anymore. I feel like a lot of people tell me like it will eventually fade out when I've been here for long enough. I'm okay with that too, but I want it to happen naturally. I don't want to take accent reduction classes like I did when I was younger. I feel like whatever happens will happen, and that will also be part of the process I'll go through, and I'll get used to that too. This is something that a lot of people struggle with, a lot of young girls struggle with, mostly because of looks, but it can be intelligence, it can be done for talent, it can be done for anything you want. As an artist, I know people struggle with this a lot, because I paint, I write, and sometimes I read someone else's poetry or I see someone else's painting and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I suck. Like, how can they be so good Just because they're good does not mean you aren't. Just because they're doing something well does not mean you're not. Repeat that message to yourself. I'm trying so hard not to make this video all about looks, because I feel like when people think insecurities, when people think about self-confidence, a lot of the time your mind drifts to looks and how people look and how they feel about their body or their face or anything physical. I'm trying to make it about everything, because I feel like these 5 tips have helped me with everything, not just with my looks. But let's take a magazine, for example. The people you're seeing on the cover of a magazine are normally, traditionally pretty. It is changing, which is a nice thing. They are including more races and more ethnicities, etc. But most of the time, it's still the American standard of beauty. And if the fact that you don't fit that, if you don't fit that, does not mean you're not beautiful as well, just because you don't look like the people you've been told are. So this one helped me a lot, as I said, when I was growing up, because I did not look at all like the people in magazines. I did not look like the people I wanted to look like when I first came to America as a 13-year-old. You have amazing, wonderful qualities about yourself that make you who you are. I hope that made sense. Number 3 was, just because they're good doesn't mean you aren't. And number 4 is, if you're good at something, if you look a certain way, and if you are happy with yourself, do not make yourself seem like any less to please people. And this is something that sounds stupid, like sounds like who would do that, but it does happen all the time. It's such an accepted thing. I see it like on meme culture, and I see it on the internet all the time. People making fun of themselves or degrading themselves in order to appease other people. People calling themselves ugly when they are not. People calling themselves stupid. People calling themselves just horrible things so that other people can feel like they relate to them. And I do not by any means agree with this mentality. In the long run, it takes a toll on your self-confidence. If every day you're telling yourself you're not beautiful and you're not smart and you're just another person out there, you're average, I don't know, it's not what we should be doing. Same thing goes for writers, same thing goes for anything with a talent involved. I feel like when people compliment me about my poetry, my instinct in the past was to be like, it's okay, I'm not that good. Like, no, I need to stop doing that. And that's something that I realized I was doing unconsciously, and I cut myself. One day I just said, no, we're gonna stop doing that. My poetry is pretty good. We're conditioned to assume someone is full of themselves if they say that they're good at something. That's crazy. If you tell me that my poetry is good and I agree with you, I'm full of myself. That's the weird standard that we have right now. You should feel proud of something you're good at. It took me a long time to like the way I look, to like the way I sound, and I'm happy with it, and I won't feel bad for being happy with it. A lot of the time, confidence is portrayed as just the beautiful girl that's full of herself and bullies everyone else because they don't look like her. We are taught that confident women are normally not motherly, and she's not nice, and she's not kind, and this is a very upsetting stereotype, because I like to believe that we as people, not even just women, just people in general, are allowed to kind of be everything. You're allowed to be vulnerable, kind, sweet, and still be in the top of your career and be proud of who you are and what you do and how you look. And I really, really disagree with the fact that we portray confidence as such a negative thing. My dad always tells me, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Just because you're confident with who you are, just because you're happy with who you are, does not mean there's no room for growth. The reason I even did this video in the first place is because I'm already at a point in my self-confidence journey in which I feel like I have some insight to share. I have some ideas for girls who are struggling with this, or guys, because it's really universal. The idea that only girls have insecurities is so outdated and is so wrong. And eventually you just realize that this is the body, this is the mind, this is the face that's carrying you through life. This is who you are, and you gotta love that. You gotta be thankful for that. I hope this wasn't cheesy. I really tried not to make it cheesy and make it as matter-of-factly as possible. I love you guys. I hope you love yourself more than I love you, and I hope you guys get to where you want to be. I am more than happy to answer your questions or just talk to you guys. I do this on my Instagram all the time. I feel like I haven't really done it on YouTube as much. I'm a big fan of people supporting other people. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful in any way. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful week. Mwah.